Hello and welcome to Last Week in AWS. This week finds me in the wilds of Maine from Oktoberfest. So if you're in Maine, my condolences. I grew up here and I don't recommend it. Now, what has AWS gotten up to last week? Let's find out.
This episode is sponsored in part by my day job, the Duck Bill Group. Do you have a horrifying AWS bill? That can mean a lot of things. Predicting what it's going to be, determining what it should be, negotiating your next long-term contract with AWS, or just figuring out why it increasingly resembles a phone number, but nobody seems to quite know why that is. To learn more, visit duckbillgroup.com. Remember, you can't duck the duck bill. And my CEO informs me that is absolutely not our slogan.
AWS Organizations supports full IAM policy language for service control policies or SCPs. Now, this is nuanced and I'm not up to speed enough on the intricacies of SCPs to say for certain how transformative it is. So if you think this is a big deal, please reach out and tell me why. Route 53 resolver query logging is now available in the New Zealand region, and this is one of a flurry of AWS announcements of service expansions to New Zealand. At some point, you've got to ask yourself, when is an AWS region actually considered launched? A guide to reducing waste and improving efficiency with AWS. And this blog post is borderline incoherent. It swings from sentence to sentence between cost optimization, security best practices, pitching various AWS service offerings, and then I couldn't take it anymore and closed the tab. Who exactly is this for? Amazon RDS announces cross-region and cross-account snapshot copy. You might rightly say, hey, wait a second, didn't we ask for this back in 2014? And while the answer is, of course you did, you have to realize that the RDS team doesn't like customers because they don't have to like customers. They play in a space where people give money to Oracle, for God's sake. I'm not saying their pace of innovation is low, but they did announce RDS for DB2 in 2023, so you've got a good few decades before it catches up to 2025. AWS announces EC2 instance attestation, which is useful for folks who trust their cloud providers, but also don't trust their cloud providers in very specific combinations.
This episode is sponsored by my own company, the Duck Bill Group. Having trouble with your AWS bill? Perhaps it's time to renegotiate a contract with them. Maybe you're just wondering how to predict what's going on in the wide world of AWS. Well, that's where the Duck Bill Group comes in to help. Remember, you can't duck the Duck Bill, which I am reliably informed by my business partner is absolutely not our motto.
Humane World for Animals uses AWS to scale global animal welfare programs. They care deeply about animal welfare, but not so much about employee welfare up in Seattle these days. On Halloween, S3 is going to be deprecating its SOAP API. Pour one out for XML. That was a good 20-year run. Prompt Library, AWS startups. AWS apparently quietly launched this thing last week, and I saw folks talking about it on social media, but there's been no official announcement as of the time I'm recording this. So I'm surprised. You'd expect the messaging around something like this to be prompt. And finally, AWS named as a leader in the 2025 Gartner Magic Quadrant for AI code assistance. Amazon Q is a leader, but Cursor is not. So this quadrant strains credulity so hard it needs hernia surgery. This is a swing and a miss, smacking solidly into Gartner's credibility. I don't believe it to be true, but putting out stuff like this that is obviously not the market's overall position is where a lot of the grousing around Gartner being pay for play comes from. And that's what happened last week in AWS. I'm Corey Quinn. Please stick around.